Hello and welcome to the Simhanger. Today we're going to be talking about what is arguably the holy grail for many flight simulator enthusiasts, a smooth performance and frame rates. Having recently purchased an RTX 2080 Ti, I'm obviously keen to see what sort of performance that can bring to prepared version 4.4. Little anxious, however, as the GTX 1080 compared to the 1080 Ti did not really produce any form of performance bump whatsoever. So the big question is, will the very expensive RTX be able to do this? Join me while we find out. Here are the settings that we'll be using for the tests. There's no tweaks or changes to the config files, they're block standard. Mesh resolution is at 5 meters and texture at 7 centimeters, as recommended by ORBX. I've obviously made sure that I have the latest NVIDIA drivers installed. On with the tests then. We're going to be doing 3 tests, a low, medium and high impact test based on the amount of scenery loaded. First test will be the low impact test. It's going to be a short hop from Idaho Falls to Pocatello Regional, about 20 minutes, and we're going to be using Just Flight's excellent Piper Archer 3. The weather I've set as relatively clear, some cloud at 10,000 feet. Bear in mind the airports are in and around 6,000 feet. And the setting is winter. In terms of scenery installed, we have ORBX Global, Vector and OpenLC North America, along with the Global Trees HD. There's no regional and no airport packs installed. For test 2, we're going to be flying from London City to Southampton. The route's going to take us from London City over Biggin Hill through to the Woodley NDB and then on to Southampton. And for this leg, we're going to be using Majestic's amazing Dash 8 Pro. The weather is set to autumn. It's relatively clear with some clouds at 8,000 feet, initially flying at 6,000 feet, and then fairly early on descending to 2,000 feet, getting ready for the approach. For scenery, we've got the same global ORBX suite as before, and in addition, impacting on this test, we have the Regional Area England installed, as well as the airport of Southampton. And on to our third and final test. This is a flight from Rotterdam to Lelystad. We're going to be flying past the built-up areas of Schiphol Airport and Amsterdam itself. And for this flight we're going to be using A2A's Comanche 250, my favorite aircraft at the moment. Weather is set to fair. It's late autumn. We've got a bit of cloud cover at about 4,000 feet, but we'll be flying in and around 2,000 feet all the way. For scenery, we've got the ORBX Global Pack and Europe Pack as we had for Test 2. But in addition, we've got Netherlands True Earth installed. Netherlands True Earth is a very, very large download. It's something in the region of about 72 gigabyte, over 32,000 files. And as far as I'm aware, represents the largest high-density scenery available from ORBX for prepared. much appreciated if you would hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to tap the bell for future notifications and give it a thumbs up. Thanks very much. So those were the tests. To capture the frame rate, I used the NVIDIA GeForce frame counter. Well, my overall impressions, I couldn't really see much of a difference between the RTX and the GTX. Frames seem pretty much the same, maybe marginally better as we up the ante with the scenery, but no major difference at all, and the results bear these out. Let's have a look at them. Overall, I think I can summarize the results as very disappointing. The RTX versus the GTX showing performance improvement between 3 and 7%. Allowing for the vagrancies of the FPS test, I think it'd be fair to say that the RTX versus GTX performance is very much the same. Considering the price of the RTX card, this doesn't represent decent bang for your buck. The sweet spot for flight simmers at the moment, I would suggest, would be starting around the 1070 Ti through the 1080 and the 1080 Ti. One observation worth mentioning is that the higher impact test recorded higher frames per second than our medium impact test did, and the high impact was Netherlands True Earth. I think this is testament to the optimization of the scenery by ORBX. One quick note that I need to mention is post the tests, I went to the NVIDIA control panel. Under managing the 3D settings and program settings, I scrolled down to the vertical sync and changed that to adaptive half refresh rate. This is particularly helpful and useful for those using 60 MHz monitors. It made quite an impact, quite a change, where I gained anything between 10 and 20 frames per second. So this is a tweak that I recommend for those with 60 MHz monitors. So there we are. They're the results for prepared version 4.4, RTX versus GTX. If anybody's done any similar tests on X-Plane, DCS, Aerofly, etc., I'd be interested to know what they are. Please leave some comments below. Well, it appears to me that the RTX cards are not the holy grail that the flight simmers have been looking for. Whilst newer games such as Battlefield 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, etc. can take advantage of the new technologies within these cards, it's clearly evident that prepared with its history going back to 32-bit FSX and all the problems related to that remain with us still. The search continues. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, help a new YouTube channel out, and tap the bell for future notifications. Thanks very much, and bye for now.